Lesson 2-5, solve subtraction equations. So in this video, we're going to be looking at subtraction equations and using the inverse of subtraction to solve. So what is the inverse for a subtraction equation? Well, the inverse of subtraction is addition. So again, we're going to isolate the variable by using inverse operations. And then because this is an addition, these are subtraction problems, we're going to do the inverse of subtraction, which is addition. And the addition property of equality says whatever you add on one side of the equal sign, you must add on the other. And you're doing that to isolate the variable. So let's take a look at some examples. Here we're going to solve the following equations. I have x minus 42 equals 914. So the opposite of subtracting 42 is adding 42. So I'm going to add 42 to both sides. And I'm left with x equaling 4 plus 2 is 6, 1 plus 4 is 5, 9 plus 0 is 9. So 956. Next, I have m minus a negative 8. So if I'm subtracting a negative 8, I'm really adding the opposite. So it's really m plus 8 equals 34. Now I can subtract 8 on both sides because that's the inverse of addition. And I'm left with m equaling 34 minus 8 is going to give us 26. Now this one was, because we were subtracting on both sides, we were actually using the subtraction property of equality. Next, we have negative 7 minus x equals 12. Now there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm going to get the x by itself by adding 7 to both sides. And here I have negative x equaling 19. But the x is not by itself because there's a negative 1 in front of that. So the opposite of multiplying by a negative 1 is divide by negative 1. And I have to divide by negative 1 on both sides. And I'm left with x equaling a negative 19. Now an alternate way of doing this is, let me rewrite this as negative 7 minus x equaling 12. I could have just added x to both sides and got negative 7 equaling x plus 12. And then just subtracted 12 on both sides. And you would still get negative 19. Next one here, g minus negative 14 equals 11, which really means I'm adding the opposite. So to solve this, I'm going to subtract 14 on both sides. And I'm left with g equaling 11 minus 14 is a negative 3. A couple other problems, I have exponents involved, so I need to simplify that part first. So 2 squared is 4 equals x minus 15. The opposite of subtracting 15 is adding 15. And I'm left with x equaling 19. Next one, I have x minus 4 minus 9 equals 13. I want to combine like terms first. So this would be n minus 13 equals 13. And then the opposite of subtracting 13 is adding 13. So I add 13 to both sides, and I'm left with n equaling 26. Next, I have n minus b equals 7. Here, I'm going to add b to both sides. And now I'm left with 9 equaling 7. Plus b. And now I can get b by itself by subtracting 7. And I'm left with b equaling 2. And our last one here, x minus 21 equals 117. The opposite of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 21 to both sides. And I'm left with x equaling 138. And our final few problems solving these. Here I have 11 equaling y minus, and negative 4 squared is 16. So now I can get y by itself by doing the opposite. The opposite of subtraction is addition, so I add 16 to both sides. And we're left with y equaling 27. And our last one here, negative absolute value of negative 8. Well, the absolute value of negative 8 is 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. This is going to equal f minus 13. The opposite of subtracting 13 is adding 13. So I do that on both sides, and I'm left with f equaling 13 minus 8, or negative 8 plus 13. It's going to give us an answer of 5. So that's our lesson on solving subtraction equations.